All right, just letting you know the video is coming up. We had some tech issues. I don't know what in the hell was going on. The live stream, the people that were on the live stream told me I sounded okay, but the recording of my mic is not. It's less than optimal. You can hear me, but it's not good. It's not great. My apologies. But rather than putting nothing out, Stu and I recorded 42 minutes. So here it is. Again, I'm sorry. Good morning, Panther fans. This is crazy. We're having tech issues this morning. I've got an echo of myself in my ear, but people that are live would just say it's okay. So it's kind of like the issues the Panthers had in the third period last night. Hey, Jackson. So, good morning, Stu. You talk a lot because this is I feel like I'm schizophrenic.
Okay. So we got our first win. Not the way I imagined it, but I'll take it. Anyway, big takeaways from last night. We came out, we played with a lot of effort. We looked really good. Really good. 2-0. And I thought we were gonna just, keep rolling along, which we did. 4-0. And then the third period comes along.
Right.
And we just thought the game was over after 2, I guess.
Yeah.
And Jersey made it more than very interesting. And
that's what I was worried about. When I was bitching about Mikola and Kulikov and the Devil's speed was, if they decided to use their speed that third period, I kind of thought that was going to be the whole game.
I'm getting there. I'm basically just doing my recap here and
all right,
observations, and then
I'll shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Anyway, so Jack Hughes, man, superstar. So they get their first goal, and I'm like, okay, 4-1. Then I don't know if it was Cousins that took a penalty or whatever. Make a long story short, they scored 2 power play goals, and now it's 4-2, and then it's 4-3. And then the play that just sticks out in my mind, Kachuk pulled a Barkov. You got a couple of players down there, empty net, and Chucky, instead of just firing it in the net and calling it a day, he passes to Verhaeghe, who misses the goal. And then Jersey comes back and almost ties it. So, basically I'll just say not the way I wanted our first win to go, but, at the end of the day, when we're 70-something games into this season, we're going to look back at game 3 and see a 4-3 win. So I'll take it. All right. So players that stand out in my mind. Number 1 star of the game, even though he let in a couple of softies. Well, let's just say one that he had and it squeaked out of him again, just like we know he lets those goals up. That's Bob. Definitely stood on his head for most of the game, made some great saves when he had to. And, yeah. Then, let's see. We got Sammy Reinhart. Almost had the hat trick, but
yeah.
Goldie's right. He's one of those underrated power play Joe Pavelski tipping guys. Great hands. And I really thought he was going to get the third one. And then who else sticks out in my mind?
Well, the first 2 periods, Mikola played pretty well. I thought Kulikov had a good first 2 periods.
You do? And I disagree with you. Right. I'm looking at your recap last night, and you're saying, oh, Kulikov had a good game, blah, blah, blah. But I guess and I'm like, no, he didn't.
But hear me out. Just hear me out. Just real quick. He's slow. Sometimes he looks good. He's contributing offensively.
I'm shutting up. I can shake my head.
Let me make the point. He's slow. Sometimes he looks good. Sometimes he looks really bad, and he's contributing offensively. So it's like Ekblad never left.
Yandel. Okay, so I sent this to you at 8:10. So when was 8:10? That was probably what, in the second period?
Yeah.
So it was way before the third. Here's where we're at. Kulikov's the new Yandel. You're right. He's slow. He's making poor decisions with the puck. I know there was at least a couple of passes that, I mean, these guys are so good now. Tape to tape passes. Almost, I mean, you play in the NHL, you got to be, good skater, really good passer.
Yeah.
And, I'd say almost all of these guys, and all you have to do is go watch a Panther practice, or you'll just see how great they are. So Kulikov has been missing the passes. He's taken some stupid penalties. He's just reminding me of Keith Yandel. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, and then the third period. So I am definitely in agreement with you. Mikolo and I think Mahura would be a better pair on the second pair. And then Kulikov and Belinkas, they could talk Russian back there on the third pair.
Look.
I think Kulikov should be benched. I'm sorry. I think just like Mackey was benched, and I thought Sidorf, I'll get to him. He had a good game, but I think that Kulikov, and he won't do it, but Kulikov should be sat out this Thursday night, and they should put Riley in, give him a shot.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments about it, and then I agree. It's like Mikolo, okay, but what we're getting out of Kulikov and Riley sitting on the bench, why didn't we just play it on Kiersted and Carlson?
That they're not up, Eric.
No, but I mean, in the when Zito was signing free agents, I mean, I guess because he wanted the extra veteran guys because we're missing our guys. That's probably it. So, but look, we got 2 points, and like I said at the end of the recap yesterday, I didn't care how we got it. I mean, you can't go 0-3 and then give Toronto an opportunity to make us 0-4. That couldn't happen. So
what did I? Excuse me.
Right.
What did I text you? Okay, we talked about this. I told you last night I said it's early in the season and it really doesn't mean much, but it does mean much. Last night was a must game.
Yeah. We had to have it.
Because I don't know anybody that expects us to win Thursday night. I think we might, but I think Toronto's coming down here for revenge. This first game, they're pissed.
Sure.
I think they had this game circled. I mean, it's it's the fourth game of the year for us, but hockey players are very proud, athletes.
Yeah.
And they got spanked by us in front of the whole hockey world.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I obviously agree about Kulikov, especially with the penalties, and even Randy called on one tripping penalty that didn't get called against them.
Against Kulikov?
Yeah, against Kulikov.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
How that wasn't called, and they called the other one was more of a skinny call than the obvious one.
Yeah. But I like the Forsling Larson pair. When Bennett gets back, I like that second line. I guess when Bennett comes back, you wouldn't need both Samoskevich and Sordiv. So, look, every game, it's going to be, and I guess we should have expected this, but every game is going to be like gutting it out. we just don't have enough of our guys to have a consistent effort or at least result, you know. So I'll take it. I'll take it. You know.
Listen, I'm amazed, but did it seem to you? I know Goldie mentioned it again. The fact that they've, tried Reinhardt with Barkov at least a half a dozen times that I mean,
Right.
really give him a shot and just never gelled. Didn't you think that they look good with Rodriguez? I mean,
Well, I talked about that. And real quick, Rosado says we should bench Forsling because he sucks. And he says there's a new Cole song coming. And no, I don't think it'll be Hall & Oates. And also, Jackson, good morning. Thank you for coming. What was the question?
we were talking about how Reinhardt finally looks comfortable with Barkov.
On the left. On the
Yeah.
left. All the other times they put him on the right. And this time he's on the left. And for whatever reason,
I can tell you.
Oh, but it's an offside.
Yeah.
It's just,
okay.
yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty obvious playing on the penalty kill together all the time. And I'm sure in practice they're playing. I think over time they're now starting to, that.
We lost Stu. This stream has been so full of tech issues. He's gone.
Anyway, it's good. It's good. No matter what, it's good. But
unfortunately, everything you just said we didn't get. This is what we got.
All right, am I live now here?
You're live now. You were
All right.
telling us why Reinhardt is doing good, and you said it's kind of obvious.
Yeah. So the fact that they're penalty killing together,
right,
and they just seem to be a lot more comfortable, and they seem to be more aware of where the other one is.
Yeah.
Before the other one is in the spot. So
well, it only took 3 years for them to build chemistry. So sometimes relationships take a while,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Rodriguez has impressed me.
Oh yeah,
more than I didn't know about the kid really, other than I think it was on Colorado, right?
Well, he played with McKinnon, and then in Pittsburgh he played with Sidney Crosby.
All right. Well, I really wasn't aware so much of the Pittsburgh, but Colorado. But I really didn't. I don't know this kid. He's not a superstar, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with him. Out of all the players on the team, I think he's been the most consistent.
Yep.
But we do miss Sam Bennett, and when he comes back, Bennett, Verhaeghe, and Kachuk. They did really good last year as a unit, and I think that's a better combination than Verhaeghe with Barkov.
Yeah.
So,
and now the only thing there is you got Lundell,
Luosterainen, and Mackey. That should be the third line.
Well, I mean, they're going to go back between Semiskevich and Sordiv because he looked pretty good too.
He actually looked better than Mackey. I'm sorry.
A little bit.
I'd like to ask for comments on that one. I know sometimes I make controversial statements and it might seem like I'm talking out of my ass, but that's my opinion. Again, this review and every other review and every other time we get together and whatnot, it's opinion. Everybody has their opinions. I respect them. We could agree to disagree. There's people on this channel that have a different view than I do, but again, I see the game the way I see the game, and based on my experience and knowing the team and whatnot, and just knowing hockey in general, that's the observations I make. So that kid was very comfortable. He was throwing the body. He didn't make any big mistakes.
Have we ever
not that he what
in the 30 years of the franchise, have we ever had two kids from the same draft ready at the same time? I don't think so. I
You might
mean,
have.
maybe one forward and one defenseman, but I can't ever remember us having two forwards.
It's just wild. They're both right wings, right-handed shots.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's that. In fact, bring Mackey back, and I wouldn't mind, having one or the for right now, having one or the other, playing on the fourth line. Just have him in.
Cousins goes to the fourth, and the third line under these circumstances: Samaskevich, Lundell, Sordiff. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
what I'd
works.
like to see.
I don't think the fourth line has played bad. Again, Stenlin has played pretty good. Lombard just does.
He was more
tell
active
me,
yesterday.
he just does not look right. You know what I mean?
Well,
not that he's playing bad.
right.
It's just, we've seen some really.
It's possible that he's not feeling comfortable being as aggressive as he normally would, because it seems like that's instead of like a couple times he's gotten the puck, a lot of times he'll be a lot more assertive, aggressive, going to the net, and he seems just a smidge off. Like
right.
he doesn't. Yeah. And
Okay.
I mean, maybe he just felt more comfortable last year because he knew Stahl was back there and he was comfortable.
For whatever it is, I'm
Right.
glad that you're noticing that too. And again, it's not this. It's
Right.
like,
it's
just
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's dissect the defense. So I think Larson and Forsling are still getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
They've played. I won't say they've played great. They've been okay.
When you consider the offenses we've gone up against, and it's their first games together, I think it's been okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. The way they're playing. We missed Montour.
Mm-hmm.
And the Forsling Montour combo, and then Larson and Ekblad, those two guys, for all his faults, he's still an important member of the team. Ekblad.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm hoping we get them back. We're in it, still in a position where we're in the mix.
Yeah.
Like I said, losing last night would have been disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew it.
Yeah.
I think they knew it. They came to play last night. I mean, Maurice must have given them a tongue lashing after the effort that they put in.
Well, I'll tell you what I do like. They're getting goals. That's 2 games in a row, 4 goals. But they're doing it with a little bit more of a offensive style, kind of like in the President's Trophy season, as opposed to that beating the crap out of their body, back that thing. And that's good because we can't play that for 82 games. So I'm kind of seeing what we had talked about we wanted to see with,
Me too.
Yeah, a mixture.
In fact, overall, they're not playing. Last year it was pretty much dump and chase. Now they're trying more plays up the middle.
Yeah.
So Maurice must have watched that episode.
Look, and when Tampa was winning cups, they could beat you both ways. Okay, if you wanted to get down and dirty, they could beat you 2-1, and if you wanted to go run and gun, they beat you 5-2 because Vasilevsky wasn't going to let more than 2.
Listen, I think Maurice realized that we couldn't sustain the whole regular season like that, and going into the playoffs, beat up, which is what happened.
Yeah.
So save that for the playoffs. That more physical
Right.
It's not necessary, during the regular season.
Right.
So
Last year they had to learn that style, and I think they proved they know how to play that style.
So Mikkola, who I thought was going to be more of a stay-at-home defenseman,
Yeah.
again, another player that I didn't really know a lot about,
Right.
other than the pundits saying he's Gudis, just a younger I don't see that. I see him more offensive minded. I mean, unbelievable pass by Chucky, but still, it was a great play by him to get to the net, scoring, on the give and go. That was was a great goal. Great way to start the game off. But Kulikov right now to me is the weak link on that defense. I think Balinkas has not played bad. Again, we're 3 games into the season, so I'm not going to be so critical, but I do have to point out when I see things. So, Kulikov, how old is he now? 36?
Is he that old? I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Well, I think he was in the 2009 draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, it was 2010, I thought. Let's see.
34, 35, 36.
32.
Oh, wow. Well, he looks 36. You guys tell me.
All that Russian vodka.
Just that third period, did he not remind you of Yandel? That's the question for the viewers of this.
I got to disagree with you because I think he's slower than Yandel was.
All right, but I still think Maurice should give. I don't think he's going to be sitting him, but
no, he's not.
I think he should. I think he should give. And you're right. I know we have Riley, but why not Kerstead or Carlson?
I don't know, man. I have no answers there.
Well, if I saw, and you saw, but if I saw what I saw last night, you can just know that the coaching staff saw the same thing.
Yeah. And, all those things. I mean, Toronto's going to watch film in that third period, and they're going to be loaded for bear on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, it's our home opener. We're going to raise the banner. So basically, it's like, and Toronto's got to sit there and watch all of that.
Right.
I mean, I'm, coming in, I'm sure on the bus ride or being in the locker room getting ready, they're going to talk about this stuff and say, look, let's ruin their party, basically.
Yep. And
Austin Matthews is on a tear right now. I think the first 2 games he had hat tricks in both games. He pulled a Nola Chari. So, but
who would have thought you were saying Austin Matthews pulled a Nola Chari?
So I don't know
if did it first, so
what's that?
I said Achari did it first, so
I think Achari's on Pittsburgh now.
Yeah,
that guy's bounced around like a ping pong ball.
He looked good for Toronto in the playoffs last year. I was kind of eyeballing him to come back home, come back.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So the point that you made about Gudis. We really do miss Gudis. I think, you're right. Mahura is having the mindset that he's got to do, or he thinks he's got to do more now.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to do that with Gudis. He could be the silent partner, so to speak.
Yeah. That's exactly. I talked about that on a podcast yesterday. It's like Mahura went from playing with this grizzled veteran of Gudis to this kid, Balinskis, who's never played in NHL. He's not bad, but he went. I mean, Mahura's the veteran on that line now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So But Eric, I'm sure Zito was trying to figure out how he could keep him, and we just didn't have the
I
money.
know.
I mean, we're in more of a pickle come this year. I mean, where's the money going to come? I mean, now everybody's talking about, including me, $6.5 million Sam Reinhart.
Uh-huh.
How do you not re-sign this guy
I know.
if he's one of the the offensive leaders this year? I mean,
Just not enough. I don't know if there's going to be enough for all three guys, unless they're all going to take team-friendly deals.
why would they? Why would they? If it's one guy that's making, just throw a crazy number out there, 15, 12 million, or, a guy we know, a superstar, we know, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady comes to mind, where I think he had at one point signed a contract to, to allow them to re-sign Edelman.
Football,
I'm just,
yeah, but football's
not
different.
true. Huh?
Football's different because they can rip up a contract and renegotiate and sign a new contract.
Okay.
Hockey, you can't do that.
I'm sure there's examples that I can't think about right now where a superstar player has taken a little bit of a hit to allow another player, to be signed. But you're right. Those three players, again, I'm speculating, but, based on what I see with other players, I think Montour is going to ask for 7.
Yep.
I think Forsling's going to ask for 7.
Yep.
Forsling might get 5.5 or 6. Yeah. Montour, I think, is going to get his nut. And then I think Reinhart is probably going to have to take, 5, 5.5, or he's going. I mean, Gudis wanted to stay here. He made that plain, and he said it. But at his age, when you're offered $12 million, family comes first.
Yeah. No, I know it's tough. It's tough all the way around. And Sam Reinhart, he's playing for a contract now, and this is the first year he started off fast. Usually, the first 10 games were like, blow this guy out of town. He can't score.
All right. So I have another question for the group. Hypothetically, because we know he's got a no trade clause, which someone told me ends this season. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you have a chance to sign all three players, if Ekblad gets traded and his $7.5 million goes bye-bye. So if we could do that, would you do that? That's the question. Or do you just keep Ekblad and find another way to sign these guys? I hope we don't lose any of them. So
fix my tech issues. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I did. And my tech issues got fixed.
So let's get your opinion on that. And then again, in the comments, guys, please, that's an important question. So what do you do if you could sign all three guys, but it meant trading Ekblad? Would you do it?
It depends on how much salary, because I'm going to throw a kicker into that. It depends on how much salary you're going to have to eat. If you have to eat Ekblad's salary, what you get back. Wait. Let me finish. Hold on. Versus what's the damage if we buy out Bob at that point? Do you got to weigh those two? If you're going to do one, you got to weigh one versus the other.
Well, what if we didn't have to eat Ekblad, some of Ekblad's salary?
I mean,
what if we just found a team that really needed a quote unquote top defenseman, which I have my opinion. I mean,
don't know.
everybody still thinks he's, one of the elite defensemen in the league. I don't,
Right.
but other people do.
Right. Right. Yeah.
All right. Just,
No, I know. Look, it's gonna be that way. We're gonna be trying to figure out how to keep all these guys, because don't forget, even though we're probably not going to lose him and he's the RFA, Lundell needs a contract too.
Oy. Well, they say the cap's going up $2 million.
Yeah, so that's not enough.
Yeah, it's not
that
enough.
Doesn't help us. That's not enough.
So let's get to that point, because I never even thought about that. Are we getting to the point where we buy out Bob? Now, if we do that, again, I don't know. The guy who knows the numbers is Chris.
It's
Chris.
Yeah,
he's pretty good with that stuff.
Yeah.
But so Chris, if you're watching,
I mean, I know the Bob buyout is brutal, but it all depends on what happens this year, right? How does Bob play? Does Spencer Knight come back and look like he's ready to go? So there's a million different things that can happen. And, to me, I think Zito's up against the wall, and you could see that by the fact that none of the three, and even Lundell, none of them got extensions. The only one that got an extension was Luosterainen.
which was smart.
No, it was. It absolutely was.
He had trade Spencer Knight.
Oh no!
And get no.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, no.
I'm spitballing here, guys.
Yeah, no, I know. That one I don't think we can do,
because we don't have the money.
Right.
For those 4 players, we don't have the money. I mean, again, Ekblad and Bob, $17.5 million for those 2 players.
Right.
I mean, It's insane how much we're paying our 2 goalies.
We pay our 2 goalies almost triple combined what the 3 Carolina goalies get. So it is what it. Look, we got 2 points. We'll just focus there. The Sam Reinhart thing, that's all it's gonna be a long, it's a long road to figure that part out. You know what I mean?
Is this season 5 of Bob's 7?
Yeah. After this one, he's got 2 more. After this one, he's got 2 more.
Can you believe it?
I know. It's.
Where did 5 seasons go, or 4 seasons?
Yeah, I know.
30 years. Where did 30 years go?
Yeah. Yeah. I know where it went. It went to my knees and to my hips and to all my joints and my hair follicles. That's where my 30 years went.
So let's
let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's just quickly, because I know I just scratched the surface, but what are your feelings about Thursday night?
It's mandatory 2 points. It's a mandatory. You cannot let that team come in to your barn opening night when we raise that banner. Probably going to have some kind of highlights of the playoffs and all of that. They can leave out the parts about the finals. I don't need.
And with those highlights, they are going to show the Toronto.
And they're going to right.
They're going to show Cousins winning goal.
Oh. So you cannot. Whatever you need to do in that game to get 2 points, you have to win that game. Because if we lose that game, the standings part set aside, the shit we're gonna get in the media and everything. I'm not ready to hear it, man.
We're gonna get roasted for sure.
Right.
Because there's already a majority of the analysts that are they're not even putting the Panthers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or they're putting them. Let's say this: they've made it clear that the Panthers are not winning the cup this year.
Right. As if any of them predicted it until we made it to the freaking finals in the first place, right? I know there was one guy that predicted they were going to win the cup last year, and I don't blame anybody for not predicting it this year, because that guy kind of went crazy and saying damn near killed him. Damn near killed him. So
You
on
did
that,
you did come close, buddy.
I just don't. I don't understand. I just don't understand. I I could go on for an hour, but I
Yeah.
won't.
I think a healthy, totally healthy squad. Even with a totally healthy squad, we just burned out.
Yeah, yeah.
We put so much energy in, beating those other teams. I think the sweep against Carolina worked against us.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And the last thing AJ says on the question about Ekblad, he says he's a franchise player, but if his body keeps not keeping up with his play, yeah. But the problem is if we're wanting to get rid of him, who's gonna take him?
Exactly.
So, right. Oh well, I mean, I suppose this would be crazy if I'm going to bring up buying out Bob, but I mean, if you bought out eggplant, if he's only got 1 year, so if you bought him out, that's going to save you some money. But I don't think that. I mean, that's not.
That's
not
going to happen.
They're not going to do that, right?
Yeah.
So that was the concern all along, was that Bob's contract was going to cost us a player, and it is what it is. It is what it is. What it is. What it is. What it is. So
here's what I'm hoping. I hope Ekblad comes back, stays healthy throughout the year.
Yeah.
Scores 20 goals.
Yeah.
Gets 70 points. I mean, Montour, think about what Montour did last year. Right. 72 points. Crazy.
Yeah.
But if Ekblad comes back and stays healthy and contributes offensively and basically has a FU Stu and FU Eric, that would be incredible.
Yes. That would be optimal, right? Absolutely. So, all right, guys. We appreciate all the support. Thanks for everybody hanging out with us. And I'll be back a little bit later. I'll have the podcast out later. And then Stu and I will see you again Friday morning. Apologies for the tech issues, although I guess that was just on my end. I finally figured out what the hell was going on. So
it would go without saying, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button, all those buttons.
Yep.
Let's we're driving for 10 grand.
Yeah, for 10. Yeah.
We're driving for 10,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the goal. Let's take it 500 at a time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that watch the channel, but again, it takes a second to hit the subscribe button. So do it. Just do it.
All right, guys. Appreciate it, and we'll see you again later.